and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be reacting to your guys' cages that you sent in. I will be giving a little bit of advice and tips to each cage unless your cage is absolutely perfect, and nobody's perfect, so I will probably be giving you guys just a little tip. Alright, let's just get straight into the cage reaction. I just have my iPad right over here and I will be watching the videos that you guys submitted, and this is in no particular order, so don't feel bad if your cage is last. I'm literally just going through randomly. So let's start with the first one from Kawaii-ish Life, and this, you did mention that this video was a little while ago. It appears that it was published on October 25th, 2020, so I'm not really going to judge this one too harshly. So first of all, your hamster is absolutely adorable. I can't necessarily tell what species it is from the pictures, but definitely comment down below. And I can see that your hamster lives in a very nice IKEA detolf setup. I really do love IKEA detolfs. I just feel like it wouldn't really work for my hamsters because my hamsters are huge burrowers, and the IKEA detolf isn't very tall as a hamster cage, so I feel like it wouldn't necessarily be the best fit for me. But for a lot of people, IKEA detolfs are amazing, and they do have quite a bit of floor space, and they're a pretty great hamster cage. And I also do see that you have a wheel, and you did mention that it is almost 9 inches, so I would guess that that would be an 8.5 inch, just as long as your hamster can run on it with its back being perfectly straight. And again, I'm not judging this too harshly because I do know that this was a long time ago. You might even just have a new wheel by now. But yeah, as far as the wheel is concerned, as long as your hamster can run straight on it, I think that's great. Like I mentioned, the cage itself is awesome, and I do see that you have a bunch of little hideouts and toys. I would say there is maybe room in that enclosure for some cork logs or grapevine wood, just to kind of add it in there. For more bigger toys for your hamster to climb on, there's definitely room for that. But I mean, there's always room for more toys in a hamster cage, am I right? So yeah, but overall your cage is very nice, and I'm just gonna leave it at that because you've probably changed it up a little bit since this was filmed. And yeah, your cage is great. So this next one is from Ava's Animals. This appears to be a cage for one of your piggies, and it is a playpen setup, which I actually think is really smart for guinea pigs. I just can't personally do that because I have a cat, but for people who don't have cats that are allowed access in that room that the guinea pigs are in, playpen setups, I think that would actually work quite well. A nice big playpen. I can see that it is pretty big. You said you don't know the exact measurements, but that's perfectly okay. Just from the photo, I can see that it's nice and big. Again, pretty smart setup. And I do see that you have hay in there. Can't really tell exactly how much from the photo, but just make sure there's enough hay in there. You can see help bowl and a water bottle. That's great. I use water bottles for my piggies. They work great. And then I can see you have a couple items in there, but I would suggest maybe getting a wooden hideout or a big bendy bridge, maybe a couple big bendy bridges. There's a bunch of different bendy bridges. Any kind of wooden natural hideout would look great in there. Maybe some more chew toys, just anything to fill in the space a little bit more, but still obviously have space for your piggy to run around and popcorn and do zoomies and still have enough room. But yeah, overall, I think this is a great cage. You could add some more things in, but it's pretty good. And I can see your next cage is a CNC cage connected to a Midwest cage, which I think is pretty smart if you don't have the two Midwest cages connected together, because some people don't have two Midwest cages, and I would always suggest having two just because it gives your guinea pigs more space and everything. Like I can see you have a nice big height on the CNC cage side. Again, a water bottle, I think that's great. I can't tell if that's hay. I think that might be hay and pellets, and then on the other side you just have this nice big tunnel. Again, I do think there is room for more stuff, but I'm always going to say that. I'm always going to say there's room for more toys, maybe another hideout if you could fit that in there somewhere. But yeah, just room for more stuff, more enriched. I can't tell exactly how much hay is in there from the picture, but just make sure your piggies have a nice large amount of hay so that they can eat it all up and everything, because guinea pigs need to constantly have hay 24/7. Again, I just don't know if you've just run out of hay and you were just filming this before you refilled your hay or anything like that. So that's probably not a huge deal, but overall that cage is pretty good. I love the size of your cage. It looks to be a 1, 2, 3, for 5x2 CNC connected to a Midwest, and I think that's awesome. Your piggy definitely has enough room to run around, and it looks great. And this next cage is from Laura's Animal. This is for her 6-month-old Syrian hamster Cinders. This was submitted a while ago, so I would assume she's like 7 or 8 months old now, but whatever, it's for Cinders. Her female short-haired Syrian hamster. I love Cinder. She's so adorable. She's just so cute, okay? But I'm gonna say that for every hamster on here because I just have a hamster obsession. You said this is what the cage looks like from the outside. I can see that you have 2 very big bin cages. I love to see that. Your cage is amazing, especially since you have 2 connected together. It is kind of more broken up, fuller space, but you know, that's okay because you still have, both are still suitable sized cages, and that's really all that matters. And you do just have a tube connecting them. I would just be careful with those critter trail tubes, it looks like, because hamsters do get stuck in them, so just make sure Cinders is small enough to just comfortably go through them. I bet she is because she does look like a little bit of a smaller hammy. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, you do have a great Night Angel wheel. Great, you have some nice colorful bedding, you have a nice food dish, and you have another dish. I don't know what that one's for, what's in that, but it's another dish. That's great. And then you do have a sand bath and some bendy bridges and everything like that. Yeah, this setup looks great. You have some toilet paper tubes. You can maybe add like one of these toys. I just got Franklin's from Petco, and these are just really nice toys that kind of fill in the space more. Maybe some little like willow sticks. And then that top bin looks great. And then the bottom bin, you have the homemade burrowing system. And I don't know if you followed my tutorial. It'll be up there in the iCards. But I don't know if I'm pointing to the right corner, but if I am, I don't care. But if you did, then that's like brownie points. Just kidding, but that's cool if you did follow my tutorial. But yeah, I do love those little Kleenex box burrowing systems. I love her bottom bin. I think it's great. She has more room to run around. I think that's a very smart idea to have more of a burrowing bin where there's not quite as many things in there, and it's just for her to kind of like burrow and run around. I love everything in her bottom bin, and I just love Cinder's cage, and I love Cinders, so yeah, great job, great job. This next one was actually sent in from Coco and Oreo's Adventures on Instagram, and they just sent these to me on Instagram. The thing I see is just this little nice corner with this litter box. I love that little blanket that you have over their cage. Guinea pigs, it really helps guinea pigs to have a little nice space where they can feel secure. I did that a lot for Anna, like kind of before she passed, just to make her feel like nice and cozy, and I think that's just a really great idea. I can see that you have a little toy in their litter box and a bunch of hay. That's great. You have a little bowl there. I don't know what's in that bowl, but yeah. You also have this red plastic tunnel. I would just be careful to make sure your guinea pigs don't necessarily chew on that tunnel, because my piggies will chew on any plastic. That's why I have no plastic in their enclosures at all. I'm just kind of very overprotective with that, but yeah. And then it does look like you have a water dish there. That is great. I love water dishes. Well, oh, I think you have 2 water dishes, which is great. Water dishes are great for some piggies, maybe not so much others. My boys don't really love water dishes, and Elsa refuses them. I personally just use water bottles, but if your piggies drink from a water dish, I'm genuinely jealous. My piggies will not. But yeah, if your piggies drink from a water dish, that's great. And then you have this nice little box hideout right there. I think that's great. Piggies just love hiding in boxes and stuff. And then you also have this little, I think that's a hideout in that corner right there. That looks really cool, honestly. And another little hideout right there. Yeah, I think overall your cage is great. Oh, and the dimensions of your cage, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 5x2 CNC cage, and I just think it looks awesome. I mean, if there's one thing I would add, it might be some chew toys, but not all piggies really like to chew on chew toys. But if your piggies do, then you can go ahead and add some in if you want. But if they don't really chew on chew toys, then your cage is fine as is, and it's great. Great job. This next cage is from Equestrian Cat on YouTube. And you do have a DIY cage. which I think it looks awesome. It said you are unsure of the floor space, which is okay because I can just tell by looking at the cage that it is an acceptable size. You have a great amount of bedding in there. It's a great sized cage. You did put a standard sized tissue box next to the cage to give me kind of more of an idea. So yeah, and you do have a little sand bath, a bunch of toys in there. I think your cage looks awesome, but I don't know what species of hamster you have in there. I might have just missed it. Just can't tell how big your wheel is, but as long as it's a proper size, your hamster can fully straighten out its back, I think it's good. So this next enclosure is one I'm really excited about, and this is probably going to be pretty quick because it already looks amazing. I don't really need to say much on it. This is from Clumsy Critters on YouTube, and you decided to send in your jumping spiders enclosure. I honestly think jumping spiders are adorable. Disagree or agree with me on this, whatever. I think they're adorable. Jumping spiders are cute, okay? But you have, oh my gosh, I literally cannot get over this Exoterra. Can I just like stare at this Exoterra forever? Because it is so adorable. Like, I have a pretty big Exoterra over here for my Gargoyle Gecko. But oh my gosh, I cannot get over how adorable the little small Exoterras are. I think your enclosure is just great. It's great. There's nothing to add. I have nothing to add on to this. It's just awesome. And your jumping spider is gonna have a great little life in there. Oh my gosh, I can just imagine a little tiny jumping spider, a little tiny Exoterra. Okay, I'm losing my mind. I need to move on. Great enclosure. Next one is from Grace's Pet Care channel, and you said you have an old guinea pig cage covered with 1 centimeter wire mesh to make it safe. I think that's great. Measured at the bottom of the pan is 685 square inches. Measured at the top of the pan, 700 square inches. So let's just say it's 700 square inches because that's the top of the pan is more where your hamster is kind of going to be. So I don't know, let's just say it's about 700 square inches. I think you did say you have about 5 inches of bedding in there, if I'm correct. So in my opinion, 5 inches of bedding isn't really enough. Well, it kind of depends on the species of hamster you have. If you have a robo, you might be able to get away with it, but generally, I would recommend 6 inches or more for like a robo. So I don't think 1 inch is a huge difference. There might be 6 inches of bedding in some parts of the cage. Now I know that you're very limited because of the pan, but maybe you can look up ways online to kind of wrap the cage in some plastic or something. Like, not all the way, but a little bit to add a few more inches of bedding. But if you have a robo, it might be okay. I forgot to look at the species of hamster you have if you said, but I don't know. I'm sorry, I suck. But you do have a wheel and a bunch of toys and a little hideout, a big sand area. So I think overall your cage is great. But if there is a way to put a little bit more bedding in there, I definitely would. This next one is from Malel. I'm sorry if I'm completely butchering that. I'm sorry, I'm trying the best on all of your guys' username. I'm just gonna go ahead and take a look at this cage. So your hamster's name is Lemon. Oh my god, that's such an adorable name. Like, please, I can't. That is so cute. A hamster named, oh my gosh, a hamster named Lemon. So I do see that you have a nice big wheel, a multi-chamber hideout, a little metal plate, which I think is very smart for cooling your hamster down in the summer. You do have an 8-inch wheel, which is great for a winter white dwarf, and your cage is about 600 square inches of floor space. You have 9 to 10 inches of bedding throughout the cage, an 8-inch wheel. You scatter feed him. He has Whimsies, millet sprays, and apple sticks to chew on. He has hay and toilet tissue paper for nesting material. Again, that water bottle, a nice food dish, a ceramic hideout, just a bunch of things in this cage. Honestly, I don't have any suggestions for your cage. I don't have anything to add. Your cage is just awesome. That's such an awesome cage, and like, honestly, props to you. Your cage is just awesome. Your cage is amazing. Great job. I can just tell you're such an amazing hamster owner, and yeah, awesome job. Next cage is from Sophie Niosh. Again, I'm so sorry. Some of your guys' usernames I'm totally gonna butcher. I tried. I'm sorry. I tried. You have a huge cage. You have the Living World Eco Habitat, which I don't think is available anymore, sadly. You definitely have a bunch of things in there for your hamster. And yeah, your hamster Mochi is just absolutely adorable. One thing I would probably recommend, since you have such a huge cage, is a multi-chamber hideout. You can just get one off of Amazon. I just get the Night Angel ones. And I think that would fit very nicely in there, fill in the space a little bit more. And then also, I don't know exactly how big your wheel is, but I do see that you have a saucer wheel. I would recommend probably replacing that. I don't really love saucer wheels. I'm not a huge fan of them. And it is debated whether or not they're completely safe or great for your hamsters. I would personally just take that out and go for a standard standing wheel, just a normal one, probably a little bit of a bigger one. I probably would just go for at least an 8-inch standing regular wheel because I just prefer those wheels. I really don't like saucer wheels. But other than that, your cage is great. Tons of floor space, love it. All right, this next cage is from Bug and Howard Productions. So this is your guinea pig's cage. Right away I can see that you have a nice Guinea Dad liner. I've always wanted those liners, but they are so expensive, so I just make my own. It's awesome. I think Guinea Dad makes amazing liners. And you have this little, I can't necessarily tell what that is, but it's kind of like a little hide. Looks great. You have a little bendy bridge. Oh my gosh, you have a fleece forest. I love fleece forest. A little willow ball. And what does appear to be a little litter area, which I think is very, very smart. You have a nice big hay rack. I would also just put some hay just in the litter area, just like on the floor of the litter area. You'd think that they just poop and pee on the hay, but they also eat it out of their litter tray. So yeah, just to make some hay more easily available. But other than that, that looks great. You have 2 water bottles, which is awesome. Yeah, your cage just looks great. You have a bunch of toys in there. I would say there's room to add like maybe another bendy bridge or maybe just some other bigger toys, but still have room for your guinea pigs to run around and popcorn and stuff. But other than that, it looks great. You do have a little loft area too that looks great. And yeah, I love your cage. Other than the fact that you could maybe add some more stuff in there, it looks awesome. This next one is from Piggy Time. You sent me an email and said, "Hello Anna Banana, it's Piggy Time. My 2 boars, Scribble and Ty, about 2.5 years old, live in this 32 square foot Sonmix grid cage with a 4 square foot loft area. I put tall fence around it when my dogs are around so they don't hurt the piggies. There are also baby gates around their whole room. I use a combination of Guinea Dad fleece, liners, and fleece blankets with towels underneath as their bedding. They are very happy and love to go out for floor time and eat veggies. Here's a picture of their setup." I think your setup looks awesome. It's so huge. You have a bunch of stuff in there. You have a bunch of toys. You have a bunch of hideouts. You have a little loft area. You have a little fleece forest. And the fact that this is for just 2 piggies is amazing. Your cage is awesome. You have the Guinea Dad liners. The liners are great. And you have the fleece liners and the towels underneath. I love that. I love doing that for my piggies. Your piggies are adorable. They have tons and tons of hay, which I love to see. Your setup is just great, and I do see from your YouTube channel that you changed it around quite a bit, and your piggies just look so happy and healthy and awesome, and I think you've done such an amazing job. So great job with your cage. I have nothing to add. It's just great. Your cage is so awesome. So this next cage is from George and Justin. And it does look like a DIY cage. It does look like a pretty good size. You have some hideouts and stuff, some hay, some toys. One thing I would recommend is maybe not using the bedding. It does appear that you have a mixture of kiln dried pine shavings, it is safe, guys, if it's kiln dried, and then wood pellets, but I really just prefer regular fleece bedding. Fleece just works so much better. I really don't like using bedding or shavings for piggies, and I don't really recommend anybody to do it. It's harder to keep clean. I really just don't like bedding. But yeah, your piggies are little babies, 2 and 3 months old, and they are both males. Oh my gosh, that is so adorable. So I'd say the cage size is great. Your toys and hideouts in there are great, but I would just probably not use bedding and just use fleece. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I just like fleece a whole lot more than bedding. Next is Abby's animals. I can see right away that your cage is awesome, but you did say it is a temporary enclosure for Cheerio, your dwarf hamster, and it is 450 square inches of floor space, which is obviously the bare minimum. For whatever reason that she is in that temporary enclosure, it's definitely just fine as a temporary enclosure. She still does have enough bedding, 7-8 inches. She has a Night Angel 8-inch wheel. The green bowl is a water dish, which is great, and you scatter feed her. Yeah, I think your cage looks awesome, even though it's just a temporary cage. Hopefully Cheerio will get to go back into her regular cage soon. But for whatever reason that she's in a temporary cage, the temporary cage is great, and I really have nothing else to say. So that is it for everyone's enclosures. If you didn't see yours in there, I'm really sorry. I really hope I didn't miss anyone's, but if you did not see yours in there, it means that I probably did not get it. Unfortunately, some of my comments have been getting deleted recently, so if you sent in a comment and if you sent in a comment with a link, it's likely that it might have gotten deleted, and that's why you don't see your cage in here. But I also did notice that a few of you guys did submit your cages, and then later on, since it's been so long, later on I realized that some of your guys' hamsters unfortunately have passed away, which is really sad, but I didn't feel great. I didn't feel okay to include those cages in the video. I don't know, I don't think it really makes sense to include a cage in the video after your hamster has already passed away and there's nothing I can really do to help your hamster anymore because your hamster's unfortunately gone, and I'm so sorry to those people. I know losing pets sucks, and it really sucks that they couldn't be in this video. Don't let anyone pressure you to get a new pet anytime soon, but if you do ever end up getting a new pet sometime, you can just go ahead and send in their cage maybe in the future. I will probably do part 2, not super soon, but sometime in the future, so that might be something to think about in the future, but we'll just cross that bridge when we come to it. But for now, I'm really, really sorry to those people that have unfortunately lost their hamsters since I announced the video, and that's why your cage wasn't included in the video if you have lost your hamster, because I just didn't feel right including those cages after the hamsters have passed. So again, I'm really, really sorry. I know that really sucks, but yeah, to end the video on a positive note, that was really sad. So here's a Lucy to make everything better, because she just does. She looks so big on camera right now, but I promise you she's still a small to medium-sized dog. I'm just much farther back than she is. But yeah, that is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed, regardless of whether your cage was in the video or not. If your cage was not in the video, or if you don't have pets currently, or if your pet has passed away, or if you're planning on getting pets in the future, I will be doing a part 2 sometime in the future, not anytime soon, but in the future, and we will have some different animals and some different cages by then. It'll be really interesting to see. So yeah, but other than that, that's it. I'm going to have a awesome time editing this. I've got to have so much footage right now. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video, whenever that may be. If you want to stay updated, please head over to my Instagram. If anything happens or anything like that, Instagram is always probably going to be the first to know, because Instagram is easier and stuff. I will be updating you guys on Instagram before you hear from me again on YouTube. So if you just want to stay updated, please head over to Instagram. You'll get to see more of me over there while I'm just kind of not doing very well with YouTube and posting and subscribers and all that. It's been really stressful. YouTube's just been a whole thing lately. So yeah, Instagram, go check it out. Anyway, I feel like this has just been a long video of me rambling, talking about how cute your guys' animals are, and a very long outro. So on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and go and do something and film sometime, somewhere, somehow, someday, you know what? I'll figure it out. Bye, guys.